Good morning, y'all. Wealth on Wednesday, and we're doing it once again, measuring money milestones on your wealth journey. Measuring money milestones on your wealth journey. We're here and we're live and we're at it once again. Thanks a lot, y'all, for joining in. Appreciate you out there on Twitch, YouTube. If you catch this on Facebook, God bless. Listen, Norman Vincent Peale said something a while ago that has always made sense to me. I want to quote it right here and right now and share it with you. He said this simply in his own words. He said, know where you are going. Know where you are going. And we say that because if we don't know where we're going, we're going to find ourselves struggling to keep up, struggling to make things work. Don't fall for that. And so I want to do this today and do this in a sense to where we can honestly understand the wealth journey is the amount of time and space that you occupy setting yourself up to not die broke. The wealth journey is the amount of time and space you set aside for yourself to not die broke. You can stress about money, or you can develop a plan on how to generate more money, how to manage money more effectively. But money shouldn't be the thing that knocks you out of the running. Money should be one of the things that keeps you moving forward and gaining ground over time. And so this is what the wealth journey is about. The wealth journey is about step by step, going forward, making progress, and you're going to make mistakes along the way. You're going to have mishaps. Things are going to happen because life happens. And this is why we're putting faith and finances together to make sure that you understand this wealth journey is something that you need to be conscious of. Can we roll with that? God bless. So I take this in all sincerity with what we're saying about financial literacy that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. You've got to learn how to master your money and not die broke. You've got to learn how to do that. That's not something that's inherent. You have to learn it. And so in learning this, let's take some steps and look at what do we need to do along this wealth journey in order to measure it and make sure we're making progress along the way, right? And so here's what I'm saying, and I'm saying it as clear as possible. You've got to think about goals, in particular your financial goals that you want to reach. Lay them out, put them on paper, use a Google Doc, Samsung Notes, whatever it is that you have at your disposal that you can reference continually, reference it and go to it on a regular basis. I use a day planner, right? That's kind of old school, but I use a day planner and I write down what I want to do about faith, what I want to do about fitness, what I want to do about finances, and what I want to do about my family. Those are the four things I try to hit every day. And whether I go to the gym, go for a walk, that's my fitness. In prayer, Bible study, devotion, that's my faith. What am I doing with my family? Am I writing a letter? Am I sending cards? Am I texting someone? And how am I touching my family every day? And not always the same people, but people to let them know that I care, let them know that I love them, and reach out to them. And so financially, where do you want to go, right? Where do you want to go, and what do you want to hit? You know what I mean? What are those things you want to hit as your financial goals? Where are you going? And so put this into perspective. You think about them, you write them out, and then get yourself a calendar, right? I use a calendar because that's a dated tracking resource, right? I put some dates in there. I'll use my red pen for those deadline dates, right? And I'll write them in. I'll write them in on my calendar. Hey, by this date, I need to be doing whatever. I just did it about a car loan. I am 90% done paying a car loan, and I am right on track to finish early. And what do I need to do to finish a little earlier? What I need to do to finish in 10 months? I like the 10 months window. Excuse me. Jesus. Sorry about that. I like the 10-month window because the 10-month window allows me it allows me time to break down what I'm paying on an even scale. 12 months is a full year, but 10 months is just under a year. If I can knock this out in 10 months, I feel like I'm ahead of the game. If it takes me a full year, I'm still cool, but 10 months puts me ahead of the game. And when I look at tracking things over 10 months, that's how I'm able to manage a lot of things. Can I do it in less time? Can I do it in 6 months? Or even 4 months? What would that require of me? What would I need to do? And so when I do that, I'm measuring these goals on this calendar, and I'm setting them up as benchmarks. Hey, am I close? Am I off? And that lets me know what type of progress I'm making. And those are set up as money milestones in my calendar because I'm able to say, hey, look, I set this up to hit it in June, and I'm actually going to be done with it in the latter part of April, if not May. And so that allows me to continue to work and progress and make moves, and gives me some incentive and some more motivation, even inspiration, to do more. And I try to use indicators. Some people will say key performance indicators. I try to use indicators that are related to symbols that will demonstrate progress. Will I have eliminated 50% of my debt within the next 3 to 6 months? Right? Am I going to be halfway done with my Roth contributions before the first half of the year? What am I doing? Am I on track? Am I off track? What am I doing? And so I'm continually tweaking how I'm measuring and what metrics I'm using as indicators. Is it positive? Is it negative? Am I trying to increase something? Am I trying to decrease something? Am I trying to eliminate something? Am I trying to grow something? Am I trying to start something? Whatever it is, I put that on this calendar, and I continue to grow as we go. And it makes it easier as I add new things to it, new investments, new strategies, just getting into options trading and crypto, new strategies. And so with those, I'm not approaching them with the same buy and hold strategy that I had for dividend investing. I'm approaching them with a different investment strategy because of how it works. And in doing that, I'm doing it with these indicators to help me see, okay, my goal was $100. I made 75. 75% of 100 is still in the C range. I passed, but I want to do better. What could I do to improve that? And so it not only helps me in reaching the goals, it not only helps me in setting up the goals, it not only helps me in reaching goals, but it also helps me in evaluating the progress towards those goals. And you want to track progress over time. You're doing something, whether or not daily, weekly, monthly, towards your goals. My idea is that you're doing something at least weekly towards your goals. And on a lot of it, depending on what you have going on, requires daily organization of what you have going on in order to make that happen. And so in tracking progress, those money milestones, let's go to Dave Ramsey, for instance. Dave Ramsey says, hey, you get started with this debt snowball, you're paying off certain debts a little bit more than the others to knock them out first, and then create more payments towards other debts as you knock them out. Sweet. But also Dave says, save $1,000 as quickly as possible. Well, put that on the track of what I'm saying. You want to save $1,000. Let's say you tell yourself, I'm going to save $1,000 within 4 weeks. $1,000, right? Divided by 4 weeks. What's that equal? Well, it's $250, right? That's $250. $250 what? $250 per week, right? And so each week, if you're not hitting $250, you're not going to have $1,000 in 4 weeks. You're going to have a different number. And so now, well, wait a minute. Where am I getting this $250 from? Is it coming from salary? Is it coming from additional income? Am I going to work extra hours? Am I going to do a side hustle? What am I doing to increase my likelihood of hitting $250 saved per week? What vehicle am I going to use? Am I going to use a savings account, money market, high yield savings account? What am I doing to save this $250 per week in order to reach $1,000? Where am I going to keep it so it's still liquid in case I need it for an emergency, as Dave has said? And so that's an example of setting yourself up, putting yourself on a timeline in order to accomplish a goal and tracking progress. If I'm trying to hit a goal weekly and my week ends on a Sunday night, I'm evaluating, okay, where am I for the week? What have I accumulated that I've tracked day by day for this week? And now, how close am I to reaching that goal? That's how you apply the math. That's how you put the metrics together. And that lets you know, hey, look, for my $1,000, I hit my goal. I'm $250 in. And since I'm $250 in, now I have less to accomplish because, oh, guess what? From $1,000, right, minus $250, now I'm on track because I just have $750 to reach that goal. That's all that is. That's all it is just doing the math as you're going along and keeping the metrics. And so as I do this, I know my indicator is saying, hey, I've got $1,000 as my goal. I've made $250. I've still got $750 left. I've got 3 weeks to continue this. Out of those 3 weeks, I need to continue hitting $250 per week. If I only made $200, I know I'd have $800 left. If I only made $100, I know over 3 weeks, I still would have to make up $900. So instead of $250 per week, I need to make $300 per week. How can I do that over the 3 week period? I need to look at my sources of income. I need to look at the likelihood of those being delivered into my hands over time. And when I do that, that helps me measure my goals. That helps me track my progress. And that helps me stay on point so that I know my money milestones are in view. I hope this helps somebody. This is just a quick little something to help you on your wealth journey in tracking those money milestones. God bless.